Hi, you're listening to Wicked Whispers, and today we are sharing our own wicked stories.
So my first experience was in my friend's backyard, and we were all having a little bonfire. The friend was moving, and we're like, let's all have a bonfire, hang out, have a little goodbye party. So we were all hanging out. Everyone else went inside besides me and another friend, because we were going to tend to the fire, look at the stuff like the s'mores and all that stuff, all the common things you have during bonfires and cookouts and all that.
The snacks.
Yeah, the snacks. So then, we're just, sitting there just talking, and we both look over into my yard, because they were my neighbors. And we both seen a tall shadow figure, walk, and then, slowly just, fade away and, disappeared. So we were both oh. We were okay. And then, ever since then, there's been activity at my house. So I think it was, a something spiritual-wise, because I also see a man sometimes, and I wonder if that was him. So, yeah. You want to share your first experience?
So my first experience was in my bedroom when I was about 10 or 11, and for some reason I was cutting up paper. That's very distinctful in my mind.
We were making confetti.
Yeah, I was making confetti.
That Dollar Tree confetti.
So I was cutting up paper, and a piece of paper just fell off my desk, and I was like, oh, that's not too bad. So I got up and picked it up. When I turned around, there's somebody sitting on my bed. As we hear a knock, okay.
No, that was running. That was running through the house.
It was probably a brother.
Man, the crazy hooligan he is.
So I see somebody on my bed, and it's just sitting there, not even looking at me. It was just looking off into the abyss. It looked so confused. I think I was confused. So I just sat there and stared at it because I didn't know what to do. It was my first time ever seeing something. So I just sat there, and it got up and walked out my open door, and I went, nope. So I sat there for a minute, and I was like, okay. I finally got up the courage to go look for it, and there was nothing in my house, nowhere. So ever since then, I've been seeing things and having experiences and stuff, and it freaks me out sometimes, but I know, I got God on my side, so I'm good.
Just saying, that's that demon, ghost, whatever it is, it's their bed now.
It's their bed now?
I own it. I can have it. I have the house, too.
So what experience stuck with you the most?
Probably when me and my friends were, all hanging out, and it was me and two of my guy friends. We were skateboarding, because, we all skateboard and stuff. And the day before that, we were down there skateboarding in the same area, because they live on the back road. So we just all hang out there,
Mm-hmm.
We skateboard and stuff like that. Because, no one goes up the road, so it's not a car's gonna come speeding down it or something. So, we just all hang out, and we're just, all having a fun time, like we were the day before. And nothing happened the day before. Day was completely normal. Well, it was, kind of afternoonish, probably 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we were, skateboarding down, the little hill they have. And my friend was like, hold up, stop for a second. So we stopped, and he was just standing there staring at the woods. And me and the other one was talking, just being silly and goofing around. And he was like, hey, y'all need to shut up for a second. Being dead serious. So we all just, stopped, we're quiet. And we heard someone screaming, little kids. But the one that told us to be quiet was the only one that heard a little girl, scream, help me. And he, instantly, whipped his head towards me. Because I think I'm more sensitive, and that's why I see things, and he knows that. So he, instantly, whips his head toward me, oh, she probably heard it too. And I didn't hear it, so I'm just, looking at him confused. We're all just, looking around. And I don't know what it is, to this day. My friend think it was a skinwalker. But it was, midday, so I don't get why we would be out. Because I'm more nocturnal. So we just call it, a creature. Because, there's nothing else to call it. And something, crawled up on the bank of the woods on all fours. It was, so pale it was almost white. And it was just crawling up. And as soon as I screamed, run, go, it disappeared. And, it was so close to the road that there was no way it could run back down that bank and hide. Because, the bank is, almost completely open.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way it could run down there and hide somewhere without us knowing. But the question is, how did it get up there without us hearing it?
It's terrifying.
That makes you think. And also, when we went back to the house, like ran back to the house because we were like terrified, obviously.
Yeah.
His mom was like, "Oh yeah, I've been hearing screaming all day too." And we were like, "Oh," and she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we all like when she saw that thing, a witch used to live down there, and she owned all the property around us, including this property where our house is." Like, oh yes, let's not tell the sensitive friend that literally sees dead people that a witch used to own the property my house is built on.
Just throw them to the witches.
Yep, you can have her. We don't want her.
Hansel and Gretel.
So what's your experience that stuck with you?
I did see what I just for now call a creature. So I was working in a haunted house, and the haunted house has 2 floors, and I would always work on the top floor. So there was
very good haunted house. They do amazing in it.
They do good. They do really good in it. So I worked in the top floor, and the day before, 2 of our workers in the bottom floor saw a little girl in a brown dress walking through, like not even terrified. She was maybe like 9 or 10. She wasn't even making reactions. She was just walking with the group.
Wait, do you know if it was an adult version or the kid version?
I think it was adult version too. And our adult versions are scary.
Yeah, like that's like it's honestly terrifying.
Our kid versions, we just go there and like, hi, how are you? But
like adult version, you're like in your face, hitting the walls.
Yeah.
Like, cause I did the adult version that year.
It was like she just had no reaction according to the workers, and those were the only 2 workers downstairs who saw her. Nobody upstairs saw her. Nothing. There was no. And they asked the workers, the rest of the workers and the people who work outside, and they were like, there's nobody around here like that. We didn't see a girl in a brown dress walking through. Nobody wears dresses in a haunted house.
Yeah, like unless you're like an actor for it and you have to.
So the next day is when I found out about that, because I usually left early because it was really late when I got home. So
did y'all close at like what, 11?
Yeah, we closed at 11. So we got home. I got there the next day, and they were telling me about it, and I was like, can you show me? Because I'm also a bit sensitive. So I was like, can you show me where you saw her? And we have this room in the haunted house. In the haunted house where there's chains. So I call it the chain room. And we went to the chain room, and there was just like, I felt like something was sitting on my chest. It was so hard to breathe, and I felt like I was about to pass out. I told them, I was like, I'm not going back in that room. Luckily, that was in the bottom floor, and I work on the top floor. But later that night, it was in the middle of when we were all having groups come through, and one of my friends says he feels like something was draining him. And another one of my friends, who doesn't believe in the paranormal, said he heard screaming.
Like, believe after that night.
When there were we didn't even started yet, and he said he heard screaming upstairs when there was nobody up there. So he was terrified. Like, I have never seen that man scared, and he was freaked out. But in the middle of the night, 2 of the workers saw this shadow figure sitting in the corner, and I look up, and there's this tall, skinny, black figure just sitting there peeking around the corner at me, and it just stared at me. So I believe whatever that was, that wasn't a little girl. That's whatever I saw that night.
It makes sense. And also to mention that the one that was like drained, he's always super energetic.
Exactly.
Like, he's a super childish person.
Like, nothing gets to him. He said he felt like something was draining him.
Yeah. And like it wasn't like he was like sick. It was like something.
He just felt like drained, like tired and exhausted. That was definitely the experience that stuck with me the most.
Yeah, obviously. Like you
saw
so many things.
Something that was inhuman, and it freaked me out. And I was like, whatever that was not a little girl that they saw. Yeah. That's what demonic things tend to disguise themselves as things that'll make you feel comfortable.
Yeah. Do you have like any other stories you want to share? That's like random things.
I used to have nightmares of this figure, and he would like, I don't know what it was, but it was a recurring nightmare for years. And the first one I had was I was sitting on the porch in my house, and I see him just in the woods.
That's very lovely as we're on the porch looking into the woods.
That's true.
Wait, which one does he come from?
The one you're looking at.
Oh, we love that. And we heard a noise over there, like right before we started.
Yeah. So I saw just a man. It was like,
Like, you know, a Dodge.
so,
Maybe they seen the figure.
so it was this black figure. He was really tall and skinny, and he just pure black, and like he had like a white face, and that was like the only.
Slenderman?
It wasn't really Slenderman. It was just he kind of had like hair too. He had like really long black hair, and it was terrifying.
Emo hair.
Yeah. It was like really greasy and stuff. It was like what you would see in a horror movie. And I would see him, like, it looked like he would move inhumanly. Like, it looked like his bones were like out of place and stuff. Everything was just
No.
inhuman.
That's a no.
That is a no-no.
That's what we don't go towards.
Anything like he did just looked so inhuman, so I saw him like running towards me in a really weird way, so in the dream obviously. So I ran into my house in the dream, and then I heard knocking on my door and stuff, and I'm like, nope. But I kept having dreams about that same figure, whether he be in my house or in the woods or following me in public and stuff. And it terrified me because I was a little kid when it first started. And for years I still had those nightmares, and it just really freaked me out because it infected my mind so much. I don't know if I was just a scared kid or if it was something that was taunting me.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. But it was something that really infected my mind.
Yeah. For me, like, I didn't have, like, a similar situation. Like, it wasn't, like, recurring. But I don't get nightmares, like, very often, like, at all. I haven't had a nightmare in, like, years until about a week ago when I was, like, a deep sleep, too. And I had this little girl always walking around my house. And her dad, the guy that I'd seen, the one that I think was a shadow figure, because I think he's not, like, demonic, but he's, like, definitely evil. Like, something definitely happened in his past. Like, he can't let go. And that he's, like, I don't know if he's scared of it or what it is, but this has, like, an evil energy that he gives off. And I had a dream of the little girl that I see getting murdered by the guy I see, which is who I think is her dad, because in the dream she was like, Dad, no, stop. And she was, like, screaming for him to stop.
Straight out of a horror
And
movie.
then my grandma, like, woke me up, because I was, like, in my room, like, screaming. Like, in the middle of the night, like, screaming. And my grandma woke me up and was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, you were just screaming, like, a bloody murder. And she sleeps across the house. And it woke her up.
Funny she's the only one who heard you.
I know. Well, my parents are both, like, super deep sleepers.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you so much for listening to Wicked Whispers. Tune in next time for more wicked stories. And don't forget to leave your wicked stories in the comments so we can share them. Like and subscribe. Bye!